This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
It is 6:08 at WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast. And you're on Small Biz Florida from Indian River State College. And now here's Tom.
This is indeed Small Biz Florida, and I am Tom Kindred. And welcome to another segment and installment of Small Biz Florida, brought to you by the Florida Small Business Development Center here at Indian River State College. Small Biz Florida is designed and produced to create awareness for the business assistance programs available here at Indian River State College through the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute and the Florida SBDC Network. We will spend time during our hour together tonight to highlight entrepreneurial success, best practices, and discuss all things business around the Treasure Coast and the state of Florida. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve as the Regional Director for the Florida SBDC at IRSC. Underwriters for this segment of Small Biz Florida are the Florida SBDC at IRSC and our friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie. So, Greg, how are you this evening?
Doing well.
We are off and running for a new year.
Boy, that we are.
Yes, new semester at Indian River State College, new year for Small Biz Florida. I spent last week at the Legislative Fly-In in Tallahassee. I spent Monday through Thursday there, and we got a lot of good interviews that we're going to probably be highlighting on Small Biz Florida here on WSTU and WPSL.
They let you hang out for 3 days?
They let me hang out for 3 days.
You didn't get tossed out at all?
They put me in the corner, but I was there. I was there. A few people saw me and came over.
There you go. Okay.
So we talked to some very interesting people. Port directors from around the state, a couple of secretaries with the Florida government. Talked to Jerry Parrish, chief economist for the Florida Chamber Foundation. Talked to some business folks from around the state. So anyway, got some great interviews that came out of our visit to Tallahassee. So we'll be bringing those to the audience here over the next couple of weeks. This evening, we've got two of my very good friends from Indian River State College and one of the finest schools of business around the state here at Indian River State College. Two standout professors. We've got with us this evening Dr. Angie Bailey. Welcome to the show again, Dr. Bailey.
Thank you.
And we've also got our good friend, Dr. Ron Carleson. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Carleson.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to be here, Tom. Thank you.
And we've got, they have brought with them one of their standout students to talk to us a little bit about what's going on at the IRSC School of Business, Arturo Ortiz. Welcome to the show, Arturo.
Thank you, Tom. It's nice to be here.
Yep. So going to talk about IRSC School of Business. Going to talk about two unique programs, something new at the college. I think we're going to talk about Toastmasters, which I'm very excited to hear about. And we're going to talk about a program that's very innovative and unique, and one of the most popular programs for the students is the Money Show. So looking forward to that conversation. First, Greg, where are we in IRSC sports? I think we still have some basketball left.
Now number 5 in the state.
Nice.
And mentioned nationally.
That's what you said. You said our coach was kind of recognized, wasn't he not?
Big week for Coach Charlie Wilson, mentioned by the National Association of Basketball Coaches.
Nice.
Yeah, as Coach of the Week. So, we're 111 straight.
Any home games remaining in the season?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple more, but I think we're in the second stanza of our 3 for conference play. We have a 2-game lead. We're perfect 4-0. Okay. So, yeah.
Nice. I nothing like a Pioneer basketball game, man. It's a lot of fun. I always encourage people to come out.
Crowds. We really have had some good crowds.
It's a lot of fun. Great family activity. Come out. Normally, never any charge to come and participate and watch Pioneer sports. It's a great opportunity to see some collegiate athletics and have a good time and a lot of fun to come out to the gym there on main campus right there on Virginia Avenue in Fort Pierce and see some very competitive basketball.
Oh, yeah. We'll be on the road in Palm Beach this weekend.
Okay. Want to take just a couple minutes. Got a good lineup of training programs and workshops and seminars coming up at Indian River State College over the course of the next couple of weeks. Very popular program. And when I say popular, I do mean popular. This program, not a seat left in the house the last time we ran this. This is our Partners in Prosperity Institute for Nonprofit Excellence. We are partnering with Center State Bank, our good buddy Steve Waters over at Center State Bank. They came to us and said, look, we want to do some training for nonprofits in our community. And so this is our Institute for Nonprofit Excellence, creating successful leaders in the nonprofit sectors, multiple classes. You've got leadership, effective communication, team building and motivation, conflict and challenging employees, diversity, time management. So it's a multi-week, multi-day class, and it's all put on for the small fee of $25. Center State basically is scholarshiping this program for all nonprofits. So that all kicks off January the 27th, and it runs through March the 9th. So I will tell you, if you are a nonprofit, manager of a nonprofit, executive director, work in a nonprofit, this is a great opportunity for you to get some training and at a, really no cost at all, $25.
You don't need a home improvement loan to pay for
You do not need a home equity line of credit or apply for a new credit card. No, it's $25, and I'm telling you, we got rave reviews. And the class, we do have limited seating because it's in a classroom, and so I would encourage you, if you're involved in a nonprofit organization, you need to check that out.
Good response so far?
Oh yes, in fact, I hope I'm not telling you to apply and it's already sold out. But nobody told me it was sold out today. So you have time. And if they
operators are standing by.
That's right. And if you don't have, and you get a Ginsu knife, if you
or a toaster.
No, there's no knives, there's no toasters. It's just good training for those in the nonprofit sector. We also have the SHRM certification, which is, of course, a very sought-after, high-end certification. So SHRM certification classes, that's going to take place January the 28th through May the 5th. Again, if you are in the HR world and looking to get your SHRM certification, regular class that we do on a regular basis, but the next round will start January the 28th. We've also got our regular run of some, obviously very popular classes. Excel, basics to intermediate class, everything you need to start and manage an Excel spreadsheet. Orientation to Excel, navigating workbooks, worksheets, zoom in, zoom out, workbook. So all kinds of resources and tools taught in this class. That takes place starting February the 4th through February the 13th. Again, everything you need to start and manage Excel. We've also got Internet Marketing Essentials, a very popular class that the CCTI provides. This course will teach you the tools to market yourself online. Learn how to reach your target market online, establish a content strategy to effectively communicate and utilize not only social media, but blogging, YouTube, Google. So places and your website to establish relationships with your customers and prospects. So excellent class, very popular. That's a one-day class, February the 6th. Takes place right there on the main campus in Fort Pierce. And then finally, we've got, of course, something that we're doing now on a very regular basis. It's called Smart Start. It's the Florida SBDC orientation. It's a one-night orientation where folks looking to start a business, we bring them in and we give them all the good news or bad news, whichever the way you look at it, on how to start your business. So again,
you don't have to write a business plan.
Not in this class, no.
Oh.
I'm
still waiting after 27 years.
It's kind of a scary class if you're looking to start a business. We kind of tell you the reality. So if you're brave, come to a Start Smart orientation and we'll talk about starting your new business. So
They better keep both of us out of the class because we'll tell horror stories.
well, yeah, if they hear, yeah, my nights are scary. Yes, the nights I teach it are very scary. But that class, we've got one on February the 13th, one on the 19th, and one on March the 12th. So if you are thinking about, looking at starting a business, that is an excellent place to come. One night Smart Start orientation with the Florida SBDC. So got a lot going on in terms of training and seminars, and got a lot of classes already scheduled for the Pruitt campus for 2020, main campus for 2020. So got a government contracting program coming up, which we'll talk about. And so anyway, got a lot going on this year. We're going to do a little a women in business gathering to talk, kind of focused on access to capital for women in business.
Good.
That's coming up in March. So anyway, got some really good workshops, seminars, programs, things where people can get involved and talk about their business.
Are the BAP programs rolling along?
BAPs are rolling along. I think I just saw come across my desk today the next round of Port St. Lucie BAP. So that's going to kick off. And I think, I shouldn't say anything, but we may have a BAP here going to take place locally. So that's in the works too. So BAP is alive and well, the Business Accelerator program. And that show is definitely on the road. So Port St. Lucie is doing a regular round of them now, and we're talking about doing some around the Fort Pierce area. So anyway, got some really cool things coming up in 2020 to try to get some entrepreneurial and small business training out there in the workplace.
That's very cool. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So with all that going on, it's obviously appropriate that we have our partners here from the IRSC School of Business, my favorite school of business. I'm not a graduate, but I think I took a couple classes in the IRSC School of Business, so I'm an alumni, right, Dr. Bailey?
That's correct.
I'm an alumni. Okay, good. So tonight we've got with us again our good friend Dr. Carleson and Dr. Bailey, and we've got a student with us from the School of Business. But let's start with Dr. Bailey and Dr. Carleson. I kind of want to, give us both kind of start us off with a little of your background, your pathway to the IRSC School of Business, and kind of what you guys specialize in and the courses that you lead at the School of Business. Dr. Bailey?
Hello, good evening again. I've had the pleasure to be with Indian River State College 6 years now. My background is in management, organizational leadership. I teach basically all of the management courses, leadership, marketing. When students ask me that question, I say I teach everything except accounting. We got Dr. Carleson here for accounting and finance and law, but basically everything else I pretty much teach.
Organizational leadership? She's in the wrong radio station. You've got to be kidding.
Well, we can bring a whiteboard in here, Greg. We'll have a little class. Now, Dr. Bailey, one of the things you do beyond instruction is you also kind of help with the DECCA program.
Correct.
And you also kind of do you still lead the efforts with the internship program?
I do. We still have
Talk a little bit about DECCA and internships.
Absolutely. DECCA has been around. Dr. Carleson, is it 34 years? I think we're up to.
Wow.
So a lot of years, of course, way before I came onto the college. So what we do with DECCA is a club organization that focuses on helping students prepare for their career. We have competitive events. We teach them managing money, fundraising. It's kind of self-sufficient where the students are able to come in. There's no cost to them and get that push, that skill set that they need to get prepared for the workforce.
Yeah, impressive program, and really does bring a lot of real-world experience to a young person. Much better prepared when they leave with the degree to go directly into the workforce if they've participated in that program.
Absolutely. And with the internship program, we have the unique opportunity to work with our business partners through the area and place our students with companies and organizations for a complete semester to give them that real world experience at a company, face to face.
And the student gets college credit credit for that internship. Nice.
Absolutely. 6 credits per semester for the course.
Are the schools, are your corporate partners and organizational partners, they must be lined up out the door to get an intern.
Absolutely. I constantly say we have more companies than we do students for the internship program, but they are so understanding, so cooperative. They're patient. I have to email them or call them and say, unfortunately, everything's full. I'm going to try to get you an intern the following semester. So we are so appreciative to have so many companies and organizations willing to partner with us and help our students, transition into the workforce.
Do you have a lot of repeat companies?
Oh, absolutely. Basically, when we have an organization or company come on, there is a process because, we want to make sure everything is legitimate. So we're on site. We make sure documentation is appropriate and lined up, just to cover the safety of the student as well as that particular company. Once we get that paperwork and everything established, we have the companies, they want to get an intern every semester. So unfortunately, we got to spread it around.
Right. So Dr. Carleson, a little bit of your background and pathway to the college, and what do you instruct in, areas of instruction?
I primarily teach finance and strategic courses. My pathway was, I came out of the business world. I directed global business development for U.S. aerospace and defense firms. And along the way spent 10 years in Europe directing operations there. And I got tired of traveling around the world, so I thought, well, let me share some of the knowledge and experience that I've gained, and I went into teaching. And so I've been teaching for 20 years. And I've been with Indian River State College for 10 years. And when I first arrived, one of my major concerns is people don't seem to be prepared for later in life and retirement and things like that, and it's an ongoing issue for us as a nation. And so one of my hot buttons is to try and help people understand how to invest and to build wealth. And so around 10 years ago, I started the Indian River State College and Investment Club. And we want to engage the students, and as what we teach them how to do is how to evaluate the financial markets, different investments, how to evaluate industries as well as individual firms, and determine what firms make a reasonable investment over the long term. This enables the students to make wise choices on investments so that they can build significant wealth during their careers and life.
Yeah, no doubt. Good. It's good
That's a
life
great
lessons
idea.
for the
Great
student.
idea.
And I want to talk a little more about that in just a minute. But before we move on to the details of your programs that we're going to talk about tonight, just kind of give us, between Dr. Carleson and Dr. Bailey, give us kind of an overview of degrees available through the IRSC School of Business, and then you guys have got some really innovative new programs out there now, shortened semesters, online courses. Talk a little bit about the degrees, and then what's going on in terms of innovative access to the college.
Okay, one of the things I think is most helpful for students when you say innovative is the way we are looking at structuring the classes. I tell students now, instead of doing a full 16 weeks and taking one course, you can take 2 courses. So if you're doing 8 weeks within that semester, you come out with 2 courses completed. So thus, you're finishing up that program quicker than expected. Right. And this is helpful for students because now when we look at our population, our students are, families, have full-time jobs, and they want to come in and maximize that time. So offering these mini-mesters and different types of certificate programs, this helps them come in, get their degree, and then focus on really jumping into the workforce.
And a number of your courses and classwork can be done online now. Is it fully online? Could you pretty much get a degree fully online?
Fully online.
Okay, all right.
And one of the things that we're implementing with that, because we do get some feedback from our business partners, even with the fully online, students can do their presentations, their final exam right online.
Okay.
So we have that opportunity for them.
And both 2 and 4 year degrees
Yes.
in the business school of business. Okay, all right. And also, I guess, also accounting degrees. Do we have 2 and 4 year degrees in accounting also at the School of Business?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, Dr. Carleson, let's kind of start with you. Talk a little bit about the investment club. You kind of touched on its mission and the purpose. And how often do the students meet? And does the community get involved in the club? Talk a little bit about the club in detail.
All right. The investment club meets officially every 2 weeks. And in the off weeks, the investment club officers meet to strategize on what subjects to offer to the students and what topics to cover. So it's a weekly engagement, and the students are encouraged to invest their money, and that may sound daunting, but it's really not. All of our members have now invested in either mutual funds, ETFs, or stocks using a variety of the online applications such as Acorns and Robinhood. And it's a very good way to get the students involved in actually investing and watching their investments grow and evaluating them. And it's
So they
great
can
learning
track
tool.
them? They can track their investments in?
Yes, they track them. In fact, the online applications track it for them, and it actually computes their return on investment for them so they can see that. And
That's awesome.
it's turned out to be very, very popular with the students. And once they start that investing, then part of the growth is they'll start accounts, and I strongly recommend they start self-directed Roth IRAs where they can put investments in a Roth IRA, and then when retirement comes, all of the money that they take out of the Roth IRA is completely tax-free. And so they can build very significant wealth over the course of a career.
Yeah, let's Arturo, you're part of the IRSC School of Business. Tell us your major, and then talk a little bit about your involvement in the investment club.
Well, my major is in accounting. I'm going for my bachelor's in accounting right now. And as in the investment club, I've joined in 2018 and during the fall semester. And I knew nothing about investing before joining the club. I only did it because a friend told me about it and said, hey, you should look into it. And it's just, investing has always been one of those things before I knew about it that's just passively heard by on the news, or what the heck is a stock? I don't really know. So as the club, as I got into the club, I got more into how can I invest, and what are the mediums for investing, because most people don't know. And like Dr. Carleson said, we had Robinhood or Acorns. I didn't know anything about those apps until I joined. And I think one of my purposes now as the current president is to spread that knowledge to everybody, because I think it's crucial that everyone learns, at the very least, what investing is and has at least one investment account. Money is unfortunately, money does not last forever. But with investing, you can make it last much, much longer.
Right. So, Dr. Carleson, talk to us about the other. We've had this conversation before you've been on the show, and it's always been so impressive. Talk about the Money Show University and how all that works for the students.
Okay. as part of the investment club, we started going to the money show around 10 years ago. It was 9 or 10 years ago. And we were involved with the money show, and we had discussions ongoing with the management at the money show on how it could become more student-focused. And as a result of that, they came up with the Money Show University. And the Money Show is a huge event. It's an international money show. It's held around the world in major cities. And in February, it's held in Orlando, Florida. And we go up with students every year, and we typically take between 100 and 200 of the IRSC students. And they attend the university presentations throughout the day. And at the end of the day, there's time for them to walk around the main floor of just the money show and talk to various companies about investments and investment opportunities. And it's an absolutely outstanding opportunity for the students. And I have very rarely heard anything negative about attending the money show.
Wow. Arturo, have you been to one of the money shows? Have you, as a student yet?
Yes, I've been last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience there.
Oh, it was incredible. That was exactly the thing I needed to get me more into investing. It was the push I needed to actually put my money in an investment account. Especially because we had such fantastic speakers last year. We had Mr. Forbes was there, and he gave a speech about his book, and it was amazing just to see such a prominent man just talk so normally about what he's been doing all his life, and it's very, I want to say inspiring, but it's very informative. It's more informative than anything, and really, also we had speakers on a lot of terms besides stocks and other forms of investing, and it was amazing to hear that there was more than one way to invest in, and even though I was just getting into it, it definitely was an exciting experience.
What's on the agenda for 2020? Have they already announced the speakers and who's coming?
Yes, we have several speakers again. We have a lot of younger speakers this year from either, one of them is from Millennial Money, Grant Sabatier. He's an author, and he works with investing in stocks. And we have other Max Gannick, which he's a trader, and he talks about how he's in his 20s. So he's been, he's in his early 20s, and he's late 20s, and he's making, they're building their fortune, they're making millions.
Realize how much
I
we
know.
understand.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
like,
where was Dr. Carleson in the money show when I was 20?
It's just amazing because you can talk to people that are your peers, and you say, hey, I can never reach this point, but all of these speakers can prove that, no, yes, you can. You just need to know what this is a door for you to know, to actually learn.
So what is the Millennium Money Group?
So Millennial Money is an interesting group. It's about from when I looked into it, the group is talking about how you can maximize your money based on different forms of income. Let's say passive income based through, let's say you have a laundromat and you make money just through that with minimal upkeeping. Other forms would be in if you want if we want to invest, let's say, in options trading, which is something entirely different than stocks, and which is more complicated, but the returns are higher. So and it talks about different ways that a young millennial should invest their money, because millennials are still younger, so they can carry more risk with investments. So it's an interesting group they formed. I'm very impressed with it.
How many people are in that group?
Oh my! Right now, from what I've seen, there's just the two speakers, but I know they have a lot they're more of an outreach program, so they can give you their ideas, right. And I think it's very interesting to just hear about them. Yeah.
Is the money show, Dr. Carleson, is it just for students, or can the general public go to the money show? What is it all about in terms of attendance?
No, it is aimed specifically at university and college students.
Wow.
And the attendance last year was, I believe, somewhere around 500 students, and it's from typically 10 universities, and Indian River State College happens to be one of the, or is the largest participant from a number of students, because we take between 100 and 200 students out of the 500 that do attend.
You take the students up and they all go together, buses, or does everybody drive up? How do you get them all there?
95% of the students go on the buses. The Money Show University has been kind enough to supply buses for students, Indian River State College students, and we have buses leaving from the Chastain campus, the Mueller campus, and the main campus.
Wow.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
All right, real quickly, we're moving pretty fast to our time, so hang in there with us, Arturo and Dr. Carleson, but I want to make sure I get to Dr. Bailey because I just think this is incredible too. Dr. Bailey, you have launched a new chapter of Toastmasters International at IRSC. Is that a proper description of what you've done here?
That would be correct.
So what is Toastmasters International? Start us off with just what is the organization all about?
Okay, it's a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking, leadership skills, and this is done worldwide, internationally, between 143 countries. And Toastmaster has been around about 96 years. So when we were looking for something that we wanted to bring extra for our students, just researching Toastmaster is a great fit. It gives our students the opportunity to hone in those skills because Dr. Carleson probably can attest to this. One of the things when we're doing presentations in class, number one thing students say, I don't like getting up in front of people. I don't like public speaking.
Right, yeah.
And we know in the real world, in the workforce, these are the skill sets that our employers need for us to be able to get up and do a presentation and represent ourselves. So this gives the Toastmasters give our students the opportunity to practice in a safe environment and not be, so overwhelmed with it and build those skills.
What amazes me about even these two programs is between DECCA, internships, capstone projects, Money Show, Toastmasters, do they have time to go to class? You guys at the IRSC School of Business, I mean, the extracurricular opportunities for students to get real-world experience really is impressive. And I think Toastmasters fits well within everything else you do because, as you say, it really is about having to get up, give presentations, make sales pitches. And
absolutely,
communicate. Right.
Communicate.
So is the club exclusively for students, or are you going to open this one up to the public? How does all this work?
We're unique. It's open up to the public in the sense of we are part of the Toastmasters International Club. So our students have the unique opportunity to have sessions on campus. Also, when they become a member, they are able to go to a Toastmaster in their local neighborhood. So we're bi-weekly on campus, but they can go twice a week as many as times to different areas. They're able to go into a meeting and get some more skill sets.
Now, is this a double secret meeting, or can you tell us what happens at these meetings?
No. This is an opportunity. It's very structured because with Toastmasters, there is a structure of how you present and communicate. So our students have the opportunity. We have evaluators. We have people keeping the time, counting, making sure that they stay within the guidelines of the Toastmasters pathways. And when I talk about pathways, I'm meaning it's structure how the college, this is how it aligns with the college because our students all are already on a pathway track. So with Toastmasters, they have a pathway track, whereas they are tested and they are able to see this is what I need to work on. So when they come to the meetings, they have their own specific pathway that they can build their skills with.
Watch out, those elevator pitches. They're gonna be out of sight. Yeah.
So is every meeting dedicated to folks giving presentations, or is there some instruction during meetings?
There is instruction. We are so fortunate to have Toastmasters regional directors and directors come into the meetings. They give speeches to just show them this is the proper way to conduct or do a speech. Then the students have the opportunity to do a speech as well. With that, they're looking at different areas, like we have what we call humorous speeches, evaluation, tall tales, table topics, and we throw out just topics saying, hey, let's talk about your favorite vacation right on the spot. You have 2 minutes to do so. So it's helping them to, think quick on their feet.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Is there a fee to become a member of this student chapter of the Toastmasters?
At this time, there is no fee. Our students are helping fundraise, of course, because we know in business it takes money to make everything happen. So we do fundraising so that the students don't have to come out of pocket.
Utilize our radio stations here, and get some of the students to cut commercials and. Yeah, we're raising money for Toastmasters at IRSC.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
Where is there can they go to the IRSC site to find out more about the Toastmasters chapter?
Yes, specifically on what we call our River Life. And just click on Toastmasters. It has the meeting dates, all upcoming events, so they'll be able to know what's going on and where they need to be.
All right. How does somebody... they've got a question about the club or how to get registered, or should they contact you?
They can contact me directly, or again, go on to IRSC River Life, click on Toastmasters, hit join, and that's the way to connect with us.
All right. And this is new. Is it off and running now?
It is officially up and running. So with students that feel like, hey, I'm a little nervous about joining the club and I'm new, you're getting grassroots, you're getting in on the beginning. So we're available, we're open, and we would love to have them come and join.
Dr. Bailey, if there's a parent driving around now that's listening to the show that may want their child or young adult to be in this, can they just call you?
Yes, they can contact me at the college, or again, go right through our River Life.
And to the same kind of point, Dr. Carleson, what is is there a deadline for a student to register for this year's trip to the Money Show? And how do they make, and I guess the Money Show is not just for IRSC School of Business students, is it? I mean, any student at IRSC could take advantage, right?
Absolutely correct. It's open to any student from Indian River State College, and we go across all the disciplines. There'll be all of our degree seekers on the buses. And the deadline is the 28th to register online, and the paperwork and forms have to be in by the 31st of January. And the buses depart each campus at 6:30 a.m. Friday, February 7th.
A little tough for a student, but yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Is it 6:30 a.m.? Really?
And
That's part of the whole learning experience for the student.
Yeah.
Can we get them up at 6:30? Yes.
yeah, and just to encourage it, I sing and dance on the bus from main campus, so that encourages a lot of students to come. And we return about 6:30 the same day.
I keep threatening to go on this trip one day. Maybe this is my year. Arturo, talk to us a little bit about all the offerings here. Kind of touch on the Money Show and your experience last year, but talk about all the other opportunities that you get as an IRSC School of Business student, and what it means to get the opportunity to have access to DECCA and internships, and what does that mean to a student like yourself when you get ready to get in the marketplace?
Well, my goodness, there's dozens of opportunities for a business student. I myself am also in DECCA, and I joined Toastmasters just recently. And
when do you go to class?
Right. 1 hour just for class.
Right.
But either way, the many opportunities that I see don't just, especially if you're a business student, don't just have to be align with, let's say, a business club. Even though I think DECCA and Toastmasters are highly diverse if you want to practice public speaking or get more into your career, as with DECCA, with the case study simulations that they give you, which is you present the case study in front of a professional, and then you get graded based on that for competition. But as a business student, my goodness, I, for example, had a lot of trouble speaking from one person to another, and DECCA definitely helped me out 100% with that. Especially if I knew they knew more than me, it kind of psyched me out. But you kind of always just practice. You go through it, and we have peers in our program that will help you out with it. Everybody is very helpful in all the clubs. You just have to ask. You reach out to them, and they will reach out for you. We will help you if you just come.
What are you hearing from students that have graduated and moved on? Do you hear some feedback, Arturo? Like, that what I did in DECCA and my experience at things like the Money Show really helped me as I got acclimated to my new job. Do you kind of hear that kind of feedback from older students?
Oh, yeah. We have a couple students that definitely come back. I know one of them works now at the school. His name is David, and he's a great student. He was a great student, great part of DECCA. He was very involved. He's been an IRC for a long time, and he now works there. And we had other students too from the investment club. One of them, his name was Andrew. That was our last president. Right now, he has his own business, and he talks about how he invests a lot. And he
was in here talking about that business. I remember that guy.
Yeah, I do remember him.
Yeah. And he's doing well. His business is doing well, and and especially he's actually one of the people that got me into the club in the first place, and he kind of taught me the ropes about everything, and as well as somebody named Joe. His name is Joe, and he also has his own business. So a lot of people that are building their own wealth, building their businesses, they talk about, hey, DECCA was a great part of it. He was in DECCA, and he was incredible too. Definitely.
Yeah, and DECCA, one of the big events, and I always attend, but this year was really a standout. The weather was just beautiful this year, and it was a great turnout, and the students really run and manage that entire event, do they not, Dr. Bailey?
Oh, correct. And not just that day. I think a lot of people think on the day of the bazaar, that's when it starts. But the students actually start that summer prior to the DECCA Bazaar in November, sales, management, getting those businesses to come on that day, customer service. They're honing into all those skill sets to make that day a success.
Yeah. And, Dr. Carleson, you touched on the whole issue of, kind of Americans, not saving like they should, not understanding investments. And, I just think it's really unique how, this really, here you are helping students understand how to invest while they're also attending one of the most affordable institutions, in the country. I mean, it really is, it really is a nice 1-2 punch for a student to kind of. I saw a statistic the other day. I think something like 90% of IRSC students graduate with no debt, something like that. And you're also teaching them how to invest. I just think that's an incredible, like I say, 1-2 punch for a student. Really, what a great way to graduate. And leave with no debt and understand investing.
Yeah, and one of the things, the Indian River State College School of Business has just been named one of the top business schools. So
that's right. I think we did cover that even a couple of weeks ago. We some recognition from was it U.S. News or it was a study? Yes, nice. Just address that just for a moment, though, Dr. Carleson. The whole issue of really that financial training and that financial literacy. Is that kind of what you're striving to get these students to understand through the investment club and the Trip to Money Show?
Yes, we don't as a nation. Quite frankly, we don't focus on financial literacy quite enough, and there's different pushes underway to increase the financial literacy. They're moving financial literacy courses into the grammar schools. to try and provide the students with a better foundation and understanding of budgeting and money management, things like that. And we certainly need it, because if we examine the state of retirement and planning that's been done, if we take the baby boomers as an example, 70% of the baby boomers are not prepared financially for retirement.
I may be in that.
I can identify with that.
Well, I assumed I'd never retire, so maybe that's why I didn't plan enough. So,
well, the goal, I teach all the students how easy it is to be a millionaire with just by investing, because in order to build wealth, you have to invest. And you can't get there by saving money or anything else. You have to invest, whether it's in stocks or bonds or crypto or real estate or your own business, but you have to invest.
yeah.
So the message is, if you start investing young, you'll have no problem being a millionaire by the time you retire.
I like that. And Arturo, what you had mentioned earlier that you really had never considered investing at your age until you got kind of involved in the investment club. Is that kind of standard for young people, that's not really the top priority at this point? It's maybe getting to class the next day and getting through the day and where is investing on that list of priorities for young millennials like yourself?
Well, unfortunately for young millennials and Gen Zers, it is not a top priority for most people. It's beforehand. I just thought that's something in the news that happened. Hey, there's a stock market. It's going up and down, and then that affects how many jobs we get. But which not necessarily true. But at the same time, unfortunately, young people in general, younger people don't think that much about investing, even though it would be probably the most important thing you could do for your future. To secure your wealth, to make sure that you're building wealth even at your young age, because then you squander your youth, you squander your ability to make money, and then you don't have enough time to make any more.
Yeah. What about the investment in college these days, Arturo? What are young people talking? We've got some companies out there now, some very visible companies that are telling people, you don't really need that education. We'll kind of train you to do what we want to do. I think there's some fear out there of the student debt, issue. Kind of speak to those issues and what made you decide, I need this education and I'm gonna do what it takes to get the education.
Well, definitely people who say a college degree isn't worth it I do not agree with that. I think a college degree, if anything, is a great way for you to learn either a broad set of skills for a broad set of jobs. For example, organizational management doesn't necessarily mean just I want to be a manager. It could be I want to be work in a corporation as like HR, human resources, or something else. A degree is very diverse. Whereas with a company that says, we're going to trade you to one job, then you just be prepared to learn only how to do that one job. And then if you want to get out, then you have no other formal training. And people forget about that. I think with a degree, though, you have the flexibility to do more things that you realized.
And, Dr. Carleson, I always remember the statistic and the study that's been done that says a person who earns that degree, has so much more earning potential through their lifetime than one who doesn't earn that degree. Is that still all true out there in the marketplace?
Yes, it does. In fact, Dr. McChesney and I, we publish articles every year or every other year, and we do research constantly on the salary levels and incomes for people based on their educational attainment. And we've done 30 years of studies, and all the research says that the higher the degree, the more people will make in their lifetime. In fact, unfortunately, the research also tells us that without a bachelor's degree, the standard of living for most Americans is going down and has been for the past quarter of a century.
Right.
So in order to stay even, you need a bachelor's degree, and to get ahead, you have to have a graduate degree.
Right.
So education, every research that we've done and every paper we've published demonstrates that not only does educational attainment mean more money, but the people that make more money also live longer.
Okay, well, you heard it here. Get involved at Indian River State College, School of Business, all kinds of things going on. Earn more, live longer, right? I think that's what Dr. Carleson said, live longer. Dr. Carleson, thank you for all you do for your students. Thank you for your involvement in the Money Show and bringing financial literacy to a new generation of students. Dr. Bailey, thank you for all you do. Internships, DECCA, Toastmasters, real-world experience that's needed by the students. And Arturo, thank you for your commitment to yourself and all the work that you've done as a student at Indian River State College. And with that, we'll bring to close another segment of Small Biz Florida. I want to thank our guests tonight, Professors Carleson, Professor Bailey, and student Arturo. And remind everybody that all the business assistance programs and resources discussed on this segment are available right here at Indian River State College. You can find out more about the training and resource programs by visiting that irscbiz.com site. That's irscbiz.com. As always, I want to thank our partners at WPSL and WSTU and Greg and Small Biz Florida producer, Miss Katie Muldoon. And with that, we'll talk to you next week on Small Biz Florida.
You've been listening to Small Biz Florida on WPSL, Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world on Google Home and Alexa, and WSTU Stewart, Martin County's heritage station, also worldwide on Google and Alexa.